What's up, guys and gals, ladies and gents? There we go. All right, we're back. It's another Tuesday. How are you guys doing? Huh? How you doing? I always have to do this. It's like I'm getting ready to scheme and be mischievous on stream. Oh, it's been a whole week. Holy cow, another week has gone by. Last week was a blast. I hear my family leaving. What's up, guys? What's up, Flotality? Nice to see you in here. Crypto, how's it going? What's up, Scott? Prime. Legacy of Pi. It sounds like a metal band with that throws apple pies at people. Yeah, how you doing? What's up, Mike? Oh, how's it going, everyone? Hopefully I haven't blown out your eardrums with my voice or the music, but that's kind of how my stream is. If you know me, the audio is always just all wonky and all over the place. Legacy of Pi. Yep. And, you know, if you've tuned in before, you know I do a lot of laughing and chuckling. So I'm sorry. I apologize beforehand. You're going to hear a lot of it. And best coffee shop in Arizona, Brandy's. Really good. They have, what did they make? They made some sort of, like, I think it was like peanut butter pumpkin pancakes or something crazy. It was super good. Right on, Scott. All right, you guys, can you hear music? That's very important. Can you hear the music? Type a 1 if you can hear the music. Yeah. I was wondering which one was Brandy. But I didn't see anyone that looked like a Brandy while we were there. Well, I mean, there were like, you know, never mind. Prime, you took Adobe certification test for Illustrator and InDesign today. How'd it go? Did it go well? What's up, Jenna? I see we got a bunch of ones. We got chat lurking. That's a great username. Snowmew. Good to see you all. Right on. So how many of you tuned in last week? Last week we had a lot of fun, and I wanted to carry over into this week. We're not working on the same piece, but I had a blast vectoring that thing. I had a bigger blast penciling the thing first, but we might try and tackle something like that on another stream where we do the pencil process. What's up, Jenna? Nice to have you here. Past both 850 and 820. Are those? Is that out? What's the top number? Is it 1,000 or the bottom number? I should say. That sounds like pretty high. So awesome! Congratulations, bud. I've heard about the peanut butter pickled bacon burger in Portland. Ooh, now I'm getting. I think I might have drooled on myself a little bit. That's really good then. Good job there, Prime. What's up, Kratos? I see Robbie Weston in here. Yeah, it does get a little bizarre. There is a lot of... It's funny. As we get like further and further into the stream, there is potential train wrecks and a lot of Control Z. So you have been warned. Nope, I haven't played Overwatch, but I do have a new shirt. You see my shirt? By Mr. the Butcher himself. Check out the back. Isn't that cool? You got to check him out. He does some awesome vector art. Yeah, Scott, you got it. So, who tuned in last week? Show of hands. That means press 1. Type of 1. Coffee is kicking in. It is kicking in good. We're flying. Another thing I'm trying to do here, which if it starts to bog down the programs or whatnot, I know Scott was here. Yep, Binos was here. I'm gonna try and record this locally. Usually I have to record record the VOD and kind of pull it down off Twitch later to put it up to the YouTube channel. But I'm gonna try and record this one locally and see if everything will hold up, and we might be able to have a much cleaner video on the old YouTubes afterwards. So that's the other thing. So if you guys like see stuff start going weird, make sure you yell at me on the chat so I know what's going on. No, I haven't met Aaron Draplin, but I would love to meet Aaron Draplin. I have his book, which it sits on the most pristine part of my shelf over here because it's one of the best books ever. On Muse, nope, I've actually never used Muse. Nope. I learned to code way back in the day by peeling apart the view source of other sites and the WYSIWYG editor in Dreamweaver, and finally just kind of adapted or evolved into hand coding. So, and yeah, and it's still a lot of trial and error, to be honest, especially when it comes to PHP and JavaScript. It's more like, this is working and I don't understand why, or this should be working and why is it not? So it's a lot of that, but it's pretty cool. Brackets for coding. Yep, I use, for the text editor, I use Sublime Edit, or Sublime Text, I forget what it's called. It's the little icon with the orange S on it. Sublime Text is what it's telling me. It is Wednesday for Scott. Yep, you guys are in some crazy time zones. I remember you posted earlier on Twitter that I was starting like right at midnight or something, right? So, future people. All right, well, how is it on the 24th? Is it good? Oh, Blake. Okay, I recognize you. How you doing, guy? Wednesday. It's officially Wednesday by 8 minutes over there, huh? All right. So last week we did a vector. Let me get the right screen going here. And I hear my dog freaking out. I've heard of Mike. I have heard of Atom. I just never gotten around to using it. There's what is the at work the developers use I forget what the name of what the type of software it is. Atom is like a plugin to that they use. I forget what it is. It's to spin up sites and things like that. I want to say it starts with a J, but my memory's terrible. But anyways, let's switch over to the main screen. All right, now we're all good to go. So last week we worked on this piece, if you guys remember that. And this one was a blast to pencil up. I put it's in where's my book? It's in my book somewhere. So we penciled this up, and we only got to maybe this top part of the S done. I think we made it all the way over to the 1337, and then we ran out of time on the stream. IntelliJ, that's it, Mike. Yep. I knew this was J. IntelliJ, yep. And yeah, nodes running. All that stuff, I missed the boat on that stuff. I went back completely into design right before I had a need to get into those type of things. So when I have to code, it's just open a text editor and hope for the best. So this is a design, and last week I wanted to look at t-shirt graphics, and try to make something to work on a t-shirt. And t-shirt graphics and getting stuff ready for screen printing is all about your color count and doing stuff in vector for the most part. You can screen print, like photos and whatnot, but it is pretty tricky, and I don't know how to do that process as far as how you go from taking the pixel art into the screen process. That's something that I've never actually gotten. I know how it works, but I've never actually done that process where you have to rip it for screens and whatnot for that. But when you get into vector, you can be more precise with your colors. You can make stuff that can scale up and down. You got a bunch more freedom on it. So what we ended up with, or after like last week, remember this open circle here? I said the logo was going to go there. We ended up with this. So once we were all done vectoring it, you can see just I think how much cooler it works. It looks. It's everything is nice and crisp and smooth, and this is the whole process from going from this type of pencil into a vector process. So we're going to start this again tonight. Not this one. I got another one we're going to work on that I want to work on for the my Pontiac Strange stuff. And you can see, even though like I pencil rendered all this out, when I got into the vector side of it, there were still parts that I felt like just worked better. I changed them up slightly, and they seemed to work a little better. Like we threw in color. Like right below the logo, I didn't intend for this at first, but there's a background behind these star shapes, and they seem to just kind of work. It just seemed to work better, this gold color. And so this design, when you print it on a t-shirt, say you have say it's a dark t-shirt, or actually a black t-shirt, because you can use the color of the shirt to come through the image. So, things like that, they help the color count. So if you imagine this print on a black t-shirt, you're only printing white, blue, and the gold. You're only having to print 3 colors, and they're all, everything's a solid shape, so you don't have to worry about, gradients or anything crazy like that. Vice versa, if this is on a white t-shirt, you know, you're only printing the black, gold, and the blue. So it's a 3-color, it'd be a 3-color print job depending on which t-shirt color you went on. And just to kind of show you a mock-up for that, you know, I did this after the fact to just see how it would look on a shirt, and you know, looking at, like, you know, the overall sizing I think would look the coolest or whatnot. And this is what came out of it. So this is what we worked on last week, and we're gonna hopefully get through more of the vector side this week. This week we're gonna work on some flowers. And before I jump into the artwork, I want to say a big thanks to Niku for streaming. I don't know why you wrote fail on the end, because that was the complete opposite of fail, Niku. But that was awesome. He's always blowing me away with the artwork he does and the paintings and whatnot. I can't get over the perspectives and angles and the what do you call it? The poses of people that he can paint up, and it's super dynamic and rich and just awesome. So big thanks to Niku, before I forget, for holding it down and doing some awesome work for us. So let me catch back up with the chat. I'm kind of rambling and rolling here. Okay, cool. So Ryan, yeah, you watched the 3 hours. You learned so much from it. Yeah, there was a lot of good questions. As I'm going along, feel free to ask me questions. You know, why I'm using stuff, why you know, one question we always get is why you even use Illustrator for this type of stuff, and you know, the difference between Illustrator and Photoshop. So we can go over stuff like that. Code some of the pretzels. Yeah, Mike, you want me to break it is what you want me to do. Let's see. Yeah, I did screen printing separation for 15 years. Binos. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I've seen it done. I understand how it kind of works in theory, but man, I have never tried with anything that wasn't like vector, and that just is, it's kind of like magic. Done a vector t-shirt the other day after watching Mini Lad. Delirious. What cool, Scott, you got to post this stuff on Twitter. Okay, so another thing is the Twitter. If you have stuff you want me to look at on stream, the best way to do it is to post it up on Twitter. It looks like we already got some stuff. This is cool. This reminds me of the dude from Hellboy a little bit. What's that guy's name? The fish guy. That looks really cool, though. Nice work in progress, and it's all totally traditional. Doing it with a pen, it looks like nice. That's the other drawback. Well, not drawback, but thing I was running into. I haven't held a pencil for long enough to do something like this in so long. My hands cramped up so bad. It was pretty sad. So that's another reason why I want to do more of these things. Okay, so the Twitter thing. Abe Sapien. Good. Yeah, thank you, Swami. I will punch it in the chat. And the best way to get stuff up on the stream here is to send it to me via Twitter, and we will post it up and show off your stuff on stream. And I like to see what you guys are working on, you know, what all is happening in your life as far as design and whatnot, and anything else really. So post it up there, and we will pull it up on stream and check it out. All right, so getting back to this, we're gonna do something kind of the same approach, and I'm gonna go ahead and close this out to save me some memories. And I don't need to save it. We're gonna be working on this guy. So this is for my Pontiac Strange stuff, and for the longest time I've been wanting to do, and I've got it here. I've got it dimmed. Let's undim it so you can see the contrast better. So I wanted to do a kind of a tropical like floral piece that looks like it's in a hexagon, and then we snuck in and my coworker, I have to call out my coworker Tanner for naming. We finally officially named this dude Larry. So this is Larry. And he's hiding in the corner. So we got the mascot in there. I picked out some colors. I went ahead and vectored one of them just to kind of get a feel of how we're going to take this thing. And again, this was just another pencil sketch. And let me get, I think it's still on the scanner. Is it? No, it's not. It's in here. So the pencil sketch, you know, turned out like that, if it'll focus. And we used the same process as we did for the Syndicate stuff. Is it still? It's still on the light box actually. So I use a light box, one of these guys, and if it's plugged in, right? So it's a light box that there's just a light source behind it, and you can draw on it. And so you can do stuff like do your initial sketch, right? So here's the initial sketch, except it's upside down. Let's make sure I don't drop and break everything. So the initial sketch, right? And then you can refine, do another sheet of paper over it and refine it. And so that's the process we're using on this stuff. And I'm glad I remembered it was down there, because otherwise I want to keep it. I want to keep all this stuff. I like watching, you know, keeping the progress of things. There's a sticker on the ground. There's all sorts of stuff happening. Yes. As Legacy just said, check out Matt Guyver. He is awesome. Do you design full-time or no? I do design full-time, but mostly it's web stuff. During the day, it's web stuff, and then it's this type of stuff in the evening and weekends. Just catching up. Yeah, sad someone. Oh, sad someone. That you gotta be happy someone. Matt does some really cool vector artwork as well. And can show you a lot of tips and tricks. I learned a lot from Matt. I have to tell you a secret. When Matt comes in here, I'm like, dude, he's got all the secrets. So whenever I get stuck on something, I feel so much better if Matt sneaks into the chat, 'cause I can just ask him. So if you see him, check out his stuff. He is he uses Illustrator quite often. Scott, I don't know if I can show this on screen. Scott just tweeted me some work. It's a hot dog on a t-shirt with a saying. Ooh. All right, Legacy. I'm going to have to pull that up here shortly. I got to remember that. Let me open that in another tab. Cool. Legacy just sent me a portfolio, which is pretty cool. All right. So for this evening, we got a big long date with the pen tool, and that's how we're gonna create most of this. So I do have a layer above where I started to do one of the flowers just to see, you know, how it was gonna go. So when you're setting up to do something like this, to go over and start inking it as even though it's not, you know, it's vector shapes, we're not traditionally inking anything. But to do the vector shapes over the image, what I like to do in Illustrator is put the artwork or the scan of the artwork or the photo of the artwork on its own layer. And then I can adjust, you know, how that layer appears, and I can dim out the images or whatnot, and then work on top of it. So when you get into Illustrator, you know, you're looking at you're still going to use layers for stuff like this. I find it easiest to use a couple of layers, but you're not going to end up, for the most part, you're not going to end up using a whole bunch of layers like you do in Photoshop. That's one slight little difference between Photoshop and Illustrator. They both have layers, but usually you don't have to use a whole bunch of layers in Illustrator. So if you're going from Photoshop into Illustrator with that train of thought, just throwing it out there, you know, don't worry about it. You'll find that as you group objects in Illustrator, it's much easier to select things and move stuff around, and you don't need to use a bunch of layers for stuff. So we have our bottom layer here with our artwork, and I'm just going to double click this, and one of the cool things in here is you can dim images. So if by clicking this, I'm going to dim it to 50%, might be good, and click OK, it'll just automatically dim any images that are on that layer. It doesn't dim vector shapes, but it dims like you know, any pixel based stuff. So, you know, those type of images. So yeah, then it's much easier to work on top of it. And another thing to keep in mind is as you're building shapes, and I pulled some colors from another piece that I had. I don't know if I'm going to use these colors because this red, I don't know, the green and red might clash a little bit than I'm anticipating, but I need to use this green. Last stream we kind of talked about like calling out the same colors as you would if you're doing you know, working with some sort of brand. So like the this green color I use in the Pontiac Strange stuff. This is my brand color, and it should have a PMS value. Where is it? It's actually this. No, it's not this one. I do have a call out. Let me open up. Because when you're doing like a bunch of designs for, say, a clothing line or something, or say a bunch of t-shirts, it's usually want to have, I mean, if this is kind of your plan, to have, you know, one consistent color or something that, you know, like the brand color or something that gets used to keep the whole family consistent. And where did I save this thing? What was I going to show you? Oh, I was going to show you my mascot file. Where is it? So let me make sure I got the right color. That is the wrong file. This is the one I need. Okay, so I've got a bunch of stuff in here, and this is my brand color. So it should be, okay, it's Pantone 3275. So I want to make sure I keep Pantone 3275 in this piece so it's consistent. You know, I want to keep it consistent with other pieces that I'll eventually be making. So I want to keep my brand color in there. And then I don't know about this red yet. I still haven't, we'll have to see what it looks like once it's in all these flower shapes. But, you know, we'll see. The gold, I lifted off another piece I had. So I'm just trying to keep this in mind as I go. I think some of you might have seen this one. It was these guys. Let's see if these come up. So I pulled some colors out of here, and this is kind of the same approach, just it doesn't have the green in it. See how it's like they all share either the red, the blue, or the gold, right? But each one can be separate. So it's kind of the same thought process as far as going from design, you know, design to design, is that, you know, you're going to carry a color set through it. So I grabbed the red from here, but I don't know if the red goes with that green. We might have to make it a little more magenta, which I don't mind because that's my favorite color. But then, you know, when these things stand on their own, you know, they look like a complete piece. So that's what I mean kind of by consistency as far as keeping a color palette. I should save a folder for color palettes. Says e-shirts. Pattern brushes for Photoshop at all. I had Flex. No, I had some pattern brushes way back in the day on. They might still be on Brush Easy, but we're talking like a decade ago. If you go and you might, I don't know, you could do a search for my name and see if anything comes up. If Brush Easy's even there anymore, I'm assuming it's still there. What's up, Iron Graphic? It's going well, bud. Where's the video? Which video? I know what we're talking about. If you are saving a finished project to a client, what is the best file type to send it in? So I usually, if it's a vector file, Ryan, I usually send an EPS. Let me show you something. So when you're sending off a file to a client, let's do something. Let's kind of show something real quick. All right. So say this is some really random artwork. Say you got some crazy like I don't know what's a, you know, just shapes and lines or something. I'm trying to think of. I saw a band T-shirt recently that was something just like, you know. Let's work a little magic here so I can show you a couple things. So before I'm sending anything off to, in fact, what will this do? All right, now we're kind of getting into exploration mode. Let's do something like that. Object, let's go to blend. I love blends, blend options. We got to do specified steps, and 8 might be cool. So object, blend, we'll make that blend. Ooh, let's do fewer steps. Blend options. Let's do 5. All right, so, you know, say you got something, you're doing something weird, you know, let's say the band is just called Y. Let's pick an interesting font. Let's see, what do I got? I got a bunch of crazy old fonts. Let's use this one. choose Motel King. So say, actually I didn't want to do it. So say you're making a weird design, right? And you got this crazy design, and you're gonna send this to a client, right? So if you send this like it is in a file, in a vector file to a client, you've got a lot of stuff here that could potentially be messed up once they load the file up, right? You've still got a font that is in it's still pulling an actual, font file. So little things that happen is if they don't have this font and they're unsure how to load up and they accidentally replace it or something, your Y may not look like this. Same thing with kind of this blend here. Depending on what their settings are when they load this document, that blend might disappear, or you never know. You can't really control it. It should appear, but you never know. The other thing is the stroke width, right? If somebody grabs your artwork and they have preferences set to not scale strokes, when you scale it up or down, that meaning if I scale this up, my stroke outline is going to stay the same width, right? I don't have it. My settings, I don't have it to where the stroke is going to scale up as I scale the whole image up, right? So, say they grab it and you wanna print it across a T-shirt, but you send it to them about that big and they scale it up, something like that might happen. So, what you want to do, and also another reason for the EPS version is EPS does work in other vector programs. It's a little more broader than Illustrator. So a couple things you want to do before sending off artwork is you want to use expand. So if you go to object and go to expand, and basically you want to expand as much as you can. You'll get stuff like this. So expanding here, you want to run stuff like this, and especially if you have gradients or whatnot, you can expand them into shapes. So let's see what this does. So you can see right there that expanded the blend, right? So each blend is now, it's its own separate lines. It's not one line and then Illustrator doing the in-between. So we run it again. Oh, you can see it expanded the text, right? So it's no longer a font. So now if they load this shape, there's no fonts involved with it. It's just going to load shapes right now, right? So we still have that. So if we go to object and expand again, I think it'll do, you'll make sure that, I think if strokes checked on, there we go. So now everything is shaped. So now when I scale this up or down, right, everything's expanded. It should retain your design 100% to what you had. And this is a really weird looking thing we made, but before you send stuff off to a client that's vector based, you want to make sure you run all this stuff, unless you want them to be able to edit it. If that's the case, then you don't want to expand this stuff. But to be safe, expanding is kind of like, for Photoshop, it'd be like rasterizing layers or rasterizing text or flattening image, stuff like that is kind of on the same lines as the expand process in Illustrator. So we got a little sidetracked, but expand. Expand is your friend before you send final files off to any client. CC292 is my favorite color. Now I gotta look that up. All right, let's look up CC. Go into our color book, Pantone, and what'd you type? Oh no, you got a hex value. That's not Pantone. So let's go to color and we'll change this to RGB. CC292C. Ooh. That's almost close to Pantone 206. Is that what you're trying to do? Matt does a lot of tutorialization on halftones shadows as well. Yes, he's got some really cool stuff. You can also use the create outlines function for text. Yes. Every time expand is mentioned, I seem to look at my... Why am I getting as wide as I am tall? Okay, so let's jump in with the pen tool and start designing some of this stuff and see where it takes us. I haven't quite decided on, there's another, there might be some stuff we want to do here. Anyhow, so this whole guy, I've grouped him. I'm going to move him over and to kind of remember what everything looked like under here. And let's go ahead and get the pen tool and we will start on this guy. And of course, I'm going to start on one that's way more intricate. So this piece will have, we'll be using at least, we may not use this blue. Well, let's see. We'll get to it. The blue might make a good flower, right? Good flower color and background. So I'm imagining these are the flower colors, and then the green will be the leaves. I don't know what this background's going to be yet. I don't know if we're going to keep it just a black ink, or if we're going to do something else. But let's use a pen tool and we'll get started. And kind of with flower petals, I haven't really figured out a great way to do them yet. It seems to me if you start with if you look at like drawing a flower, if you start with, or any shape that it has essentially layers, like this has, the petals are kind of layers. I feel like if you vector the furthest, the ones that are furthest back first and work to the front, it kind of like, works better. That's kind of the approach I did over here. But because there is some weird overlaps and stuff. So we will try that. So let's get vectoring, and let's go ahead and pick our, let's pick our blue. And when I'm doing things like this, I like to go ahead and do the inside shape. Like, not all the time, but a majority of the time. I don't know, that seems to work out a little better. And I just want to do, because all of these I'm going to draw separately, right? So let's kind of work with the pen tool. And I haven't figured out how I'm going to do those internal pieces yet. I forget what they're called. These pieces that kind of, that I'm assuming it's been a while since I looked up anything to do with flowers, but that the pollen sits on. Is that right? I don't know what that's called. What is that called? Clicky clack Evan's mouse. Is that mid-tone a clipping mask? Yes, it is a clipping mask. I'll show you that too. I already have that saved out as a swatch actually. So, but we might change that up. Let me check Twitter. Oh yeah, ooh, Blake. All right, I gotta show you this. Look at what Blake's working on. Now that's some pen tooling, Blake. Pistils and stamens. Stamens, that's the word. All right. Yep. This looks really good, Blake. Nice job on this tiger. Very cool. So, I'm assuming, yeah, this was all pen tool, right? Good job, dude. And then E-shirts lap. E-shirts, you gotta tweet at me the full piece. E-shirts was very inspired by what we did last week, and he made this massive pencil drawing that looks like he's jumped into vector, and man, it's gonna be pretty dang cool when you're done, dude. But yeah, this looks very cool. I love how you're working. Oh, and I see another type of process here is where it looks like you like to work in larger filled shapes, but then make them a bit transparent so you can see the image below it. Am I correct in thinking that that's how you like to do your process, which is pretty cool. I think Travis does that too. I've noticed Travis uses full shapes, but he'll knock the transparency back. All right, I'll show this real quick. Scott. In case you got it. Oh man. Let's see. And then I needed to look at where'd it go? Legacy. Your portfolio is looking pretty cool. CV and portfolio. Very nice design. Oh, very cool. All right. Dutch and English. I like the iconography programs. That's sometimes this is, it can be iffy, when you show like where you show like how good you are of something, X out of 100 or whatnot. But I like how it's more, you didn't like put numbers or anything it's a little more pulled away from that. So, you know, it's still, it tells you what you know, it tells somebody what you're wanting to tell them, but it's not like trying to be super precise, which is nice. I like that. That's a cool way to handle that. Cool. And so, oh wait. Oop. There's hyperlinks in there. Branding. Oh, this is nice, dude. Very cool. Eva Young. I like that. Looks like some invitations, some cards. Right on. Some book layouts. Ah, motion graphics. This is cool. Man, this is a good job, dude. I like it. I like the use of the animals to break each section up. Very cool. Looks like some photography. Oh, that's cool. Some illustration work. Yep. There's some fill patterns in there. I see that in the helmets there. Record cover. Right on. Good job, dude. It's looking good. I dig it very, very much. Very cool. I'm gonna make sure my browser window ain't gonna disappear here. Let's see. Oh, okay, you blacked it out. Gotcha. That, yeah. Very cool. Said my cover looked good, like a police photo. I know it, I don't know it, I don't know it, but I know enough to be able to look it up. Yeah, maybe, no. All right, so another thing we're gonna do is we're gonna offset this path, and we're gonna offset the path to make this outline is what we're gonna do. So, if I recall, I think I set this to 3. Yeah, 3 is good. So if we offset path, we're making, it's taking the shape we got and we're turning it into a larger shape that's going to be, I forget if it's directly behind it or if it's on top of it. It's behind it. Okay, so there we go. See, working like this, you get those outlines. So offset path is a way to get that outline that you need. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this back to strokes or outlines, and let's draw the next one. See how there's this weird overlap happening? Well, I'm gonna try to take care of it with this next petal here. And I forget what this flower is called. It wasn't a hibiscus. I think it's a lily of some sort. And I think the photo reference I was looking at, they were like orange or something. But we're going to make ours a different color, because it needs to go with the brand colors. And another thing I'm trying to do is keep, you know, we're trying to keep the color counts down. Because what that translates into is a cleaner screen print and cheaper screen print, because you're using less colors. So this is actually going to be that blue we had. Ooh, is it 7466? Yes, it is. So it's going to be 7466, and we're going to offset this path. Offset path. Okay, and change that to black line. All right, so getting closer. Let's do this other side. Go back to the blue here. And I'm going to overshoot this and kind of, even though I didn't pencil render it, I'm going to turn it into a full petal. And I'm just going to kind of guess. Because I was thinking what might be cool is if I had a bunch of these flowers and I did a long sleeve shirt and I could have the flowers going down the sleeves or something. That might be kind of cool. Or if it's a short sleeve shirt, it could be like I could put one of the flowers on one of the sleeves as a detail. Alright, so I'm going to draw the whole thing out. Object, path, offset path, 3, and I'm going to go ahead and make that one a black outline. All right, so I'll probably go ahead and kind of manipulate some of these a little bit as we get going. And go back to blue color here. And the pen, I think, is just the letter P. On the keyboard is the shortcut. So I'll overshoot this again and just kind of eyeball it. Because I can always go back and clean up these shapes if I do need to pull them apart as their own element. Let me redo that one. So another thing when using the pen tool is your angles, the way the Bezier curve is going. If you hold Alt when laying down a point, you can then redirect where the next curve is going to go. So I'm doing that quite often. It was something I never really did before, but I started to get into the habit of doing it. Path, offset path. And what I mean by that, if when using the pen tool, so you can do a few things with the pen tool. If you just click on it once and then move your mouse around, you know, the next point you make is going to be a straight line. All right. If you click and hold, you get these handles, right? And these handles are going to dictate where the curve starts going. Now, as I let off, if I let the handle go, you'll see it's going to make a Bezier curve, right? If I click and hold again, it's going to make, you know, it's gonna adjust that curve to start to start to curve or transition to the next curve, right? If I just simply click and not hold, you know, I'm back to just a straight line, you know, a point that's just going to start in a new direction. So as you're working on that, there is another thing though that you can do, and the whole trick I found out about the pen tool is that the less points, the better. That's the cleanest your shapes are going to be. If you have, you know, too many little points in here when you're trying to, like, you know, say you're trying to do a circle, you know, it ends up kind of like a potato there. But if you just start out and, you know, really drag your handle, you know, you get much cleaner shapes, right? So the fewer the points, the better. The thing I was talking about though is that when you start a curve, right? And say I want to come back up and I want to make like another petal like this, right? So say I'm kind of doing like this. Well, this curve is a little, you know, I didn't really want this. Look at this petal over here. You know, I didn't really want that happening. So if you hold Alt when you lay down a point, so if you start a curve and then say you want to stop here, but you want the next curve to go a new direction. Let me do that over again. Right? I can go back to this point and I can hold Alt. And Alt will now pull the next handle where I want to start it. So I can get another smooth curve, but I can take it another direction, right? Hold Alt again, you know, say so I need it to get a shape like that. So holding Alt allowed me to get these points, but it's still a very smooth curve. You know, there's only 3 points in this whole shape. So you might want to get into the habit of doing that, where you hold Alt in some cases. And you especially want to start a curve. If you're doing stuff like this, you want to start out dragging your handles and start a curve, and just kind of, you'll get used to it where you can tell where to do the next one, right? And let's go like that. I'm gonna hold Alt and come back. Hold Alt again. So I'll hold Alt here so I can get rid of, see this curve going way out that way. If I hold Alt on it, pull out the next handle and make a much smoother path. So object path, let's offset this path again so we get our outline here, and we'll clean this up down here. So I'm going to press the letter P to open the pen, and then simply the dash or the subtract. And we're going to clean this up because we don't want that. that jagged part there. All right. And just to keep this thickness a little more consistent, I'll drag that out. All right, so let's switch all of these to full shapes and see what we've ended up with. And I'm looking at this petal over here. I think it's too long. But we should have at least this flower. Yep, it's getting there. So this petal's too long. And it looks like I had another petal back there. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're going to modify this one. And we'll just simply kind of pull it in. Modify these handles to work, to go where we want them to go. All right, so now let me offset that path again. Object, path, offset path, 3. Fill that with our ink color, and then I'm going to do another shape in the very back just to fill this gap in for now. Just we might do some cleanup later. Well, let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and arrange and send to back, and I can kind of manipulate these to fill the gap a little bit. Just take out some of these points. Like that. All right. So kind of clean that up. All right, cool. So our flower is getting there. Now we got to do the what do you guys call that part? The stamen. Let's see. We'll get rid of this path, or this point rather, and I can get rid of that one too. And it should leave us with a handle to kind of adjust. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna select the blue pieces and turn those back into outlines, because this is the process I like to use. I like to work in outline so I can see the shape, but then I can also see the pencil drawing behind it. All right. So we'll just kind of drop this back into place, and we'll work on the little stamen parts. Looking at Twitter, man, you guys have been busy. So another one by Blake. Blake, this is really cool. And it looks like I missed a. Did I miss something? Let's see. Oh, thank you, Swan Meat, for the old follow. Let's see. Let me double check the chat. The quantitative skill. Oh, I read that one. A tiger lily. It might have been a tiger lily. Scott's here in biscuits. Biscuit sounds good. And taters. Sounds like my router. No shortcut for offset path. I don't think there is. Let me double check though. For the red, have a look at 992 F2F. Let's look at that. So, well, let's see what it looks like. Let's get out our Pantone book, because we want to keep. I'm trying to keep to Pantone colors. Let's copy this. Okay, and let's go to RGB. And you said it was 992 F2F. Oh, that's pretty dark. I don't know, Flex. I think I want to do something brighter. It's a cool color for sure, but for this one, I think I might want to do a little bit brighter. So right now I have a 206, but let me. We'll look through the color book here in a minute and see what comes up. Let me go back to the Twitter feed though. Yeah, Blake, you have been working hard, but this looks cool. Not sure if I will put it in my portfolio. I think it looks pretty awesome, dude. It's a mean looking wolf thing. Ilum. This is pretty nice. I really like this. This is I love the subtle gradients in the back and the shapes. Good job. Oh, I should be retweeting this stuff. Let me do this stuff while I'm remembering. Very nice work. I like how everything's like you kept it pretty flat, which is an interesting style. Very cool. Let me retweet you. Retweet this. All right, Scott, you asked for it. And this. Legacy, let me know if you want me to retweet that or not. Your portfolio. Oh, that's cool. What are these animals called? It's a marmot. Very nice. So this looks like pen with the vignette filter. Oh yeah, there's the top of the sketch pad. Very cool. Yeah. What is that animal called? Man, I love seeing what you guys are working on. Very nice. All right, so Kratos, yeah, it's been very okay. So we have Pantone 206. I'm gonna look it up and try to remember where it was. So this is a color book, and okay, so Pantone 206 is actually The screen, at least on my screen, it's coming up a little bit brighter than Pantone 206. So I'm gonna have to remember that the screen's a little more brighter. It's got a tad more yellow in it. Let's try. You know, so this might be a situation where the screen actually the print might end up looking a little better than the screen, which we're going a little bit backwards, but we could just do, what does just Rubine Red look like? How would I search that? Can I just punch in Rubine? Rubine? Is it Rubine or Rubine? Pantone Rubine Red Coated. Rubine, we have 2. That's a little more... See, I don't know if you guys can see that. So it's a lot. So Rubine Red is that one. You can tell I'm kind of holding it up. Let me hold it up kind of close to the pedal. The screen looks a little different, huh? The screen looks a lot, you know, it's a lot brighter. So we're not matching exactly. I guess I need to go and what's the term? Calibrate my monitor again. So now let me go back. I think I want to keep 206 in. I think 206 is actually what we want. So I'm going to go back to 206 for now. All right. What's up, Nate? I see a hedgehog. Oh, it's a hedgehog. That's what it was. Oh, my brain does not work anymore. It's sad, really. Did it ever work? I guess that's the bigger question. Oh, man. All right. So, yes, it's a hedgehog. So let's keep going. Let's keep motoring. All right. So I want to, maybe what I'm going to do, I haven't decided yet. If we print this, right? Do I just want to make these little guys the ink color, or... Because they're going to be awfully small. I'm thinking these might be the gold color. And let's save us some time. We're just going to... The old copy and paste. And we'll just kind of flip these around. I've been trying to get better used to my shortcuts recently. So I think it's A. Is A? Yeah, A is direct select, and then V is the what is this called? Just a select tool. Yep. Okay, so do I want to keep these as solid colors? Let's go ahead and get that last petal in there, because that's easier than trying to solve this problem real quick. So go back to swatches, and let's grab this blue. And I need to start this curve this way. All right, so object path, offset path, 3. That I'm gonna get rid of this little line here, and we're gonna Control Alt J and then Control J. And let's get in there and really fine tune this little curve here. Actually, let's get rid of it. We'll fine tune it that way. All right, let's select both of these and object arrange, send to back. All right, we have that other petal back there. Let me open up this water. So let's see. Let's try something out here. Let's try drawing one of these little stamen and see what works here. So I'm going to change this to an outline, and let's see. Let's eyeball it. What if we bump it up to 2? We're running into this problem a little bit on the syndicate stuff. And let's go to the width tool, and we'll make this top part a 1. So it goes thicker to thin. And then let's go to object path, and we want to outline stroke. All right, so we just turned that stroke into an outline, and now we're going to offset this path. So path, offset path, and let's knock it down to a 2. That's pretty thick, but what does this look like on top here? And let's use our gold for now. I don't know if this is going to be the way we want to do it because it seems really thick. Bring to front. No, I think we just want to offset it maybe by 1. Object path, offset path, 1 pixel. That's a little bit better, but it's still kind of not quite sure how to handle this yet. What if we offset this path? I don't know if everything needs to be outlined. Let's not outline stuff for now and just see how it's all going to work. And I also have to solve the issue of, how they're going to disappear into the center of the flower. So let's play with the width till we want the bottom of these to be wider. All right. We'll bring all these back to front. Object arrange, bring to front, and let's see how if these two styles are going to basically match up with each other. So, we did these big ol' outlines on the petals. I'm wondering if it's going to look weird having the outlines on the petals, but not the outlines on the you know, the stamen part. And then go to outlines here, and we can grab this piece. Then I want to look for a little weird, like I don't want this little sliver of ink coming through here. I want to kind of move stuff around so it's just you like that. This needs a curve. Be like that. All right, let me back out real quick and see. Yeah, maybe we don't outline those. We just have to make sure that they don't clash with the background. Or maybe they're just one. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a copy of this whole flower. Control C, Control F, and we're gonna pull it off screen so we don't mess up, or off canvas, so we can kind of experiment a bit and see how this is gonna go. So I could do something like select all of these strokes. I don't need that petal, I need these strokes here. And let's go to, let's try a couple things. I'm gonna take the stroke and I'm going to round it. So we have some round corners down here. And let's try path, outline stroke, and then let's select this other one. And let's try offset path one more time. Object, path, offset path, and do a 1. Do the same for here, path, offset path, will also do a 1. Let's kind of back out and look at them side by side and try to see which one we like. I don't know, should we leave it outlined or should we just leave it as a solid color and use that same rule for all of these? You prefer that? Okay, we got Colin prefers the outlines. Unspoken Prime, nice. Outline, Scott says stroke. Kind of fancy the black lines just being blank. Really has a nice artsy feel. I need the music while I work. Oh. Oh, flying ravioli. It is. It's this one. Oh, there's something cool I can show you guys. Oh, watch this. All right. So. And this will be something I use on my own channel. All right, so I'm using Pretzel Player. Hey, there's James. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people like the outline better. We'll leave outlines in. We'll use that approach. So Pretzel. So now any music that I play on stream, because I'm always playing Pretzel. Is Anya in here? Oh, there's Anya. What's up, Anya? Anya, no, I'm in the same boat of like I don't know which way. I can't decide either. So so the Pretzel Player, for those of you that if you want to see what I am playing, and unfortunately it won't work in this chat because we're running on the Adobe channel right now. But like on my own channel, when I'm logged in, you'll be able to pull up what's playing in the chat. But this is really cool. Watch this. So if I go into my settings here and I click on, what is it, advanced? No, what's playing. Okay, you got a what's playing setting now, right? And your what's playing page. What's that? Well, let me click that. Hopefully, is this all working? You guys might remember we worked on this page in a design for a web design we did, right? This page is built in live. So now you can always, let me copy the link and I'll paste it in the chat. That is my what's playing page. So anytime I'm streaming, you guys can see what is currently playing, which is Baskets by James Flamestar, and what has played. So I think when somebody mentioned what the that they liked the song, I think it was this one. So you can click it. Yep, played 4 minutes ago. I Said We Party Tonight by Reza Schwarzwald. That's quite a name. And then, oh, it looks like it's not populated yet. But this track is available on the Pretzel Player. Do a search for this artist on the Pretzel Player, and you can listen to him there. So if you want to know what's playing and you want to figure out some, where you can buy or listen to some of these, and remember, if you don't see them over here, they're always on the Pretzel Player. So you can just load Pretzel and do a search for that track. So let's say Reza, and it was called I Said We Party Tonight. We'll play that up again. And now, actually, if I wait a couple seconds, I think if I refresh the page, I bet, Nate, I hope you're not feeling worried. There we go. The page is updated with what's currently playing. So now it's all connected up. You guys can check out what we played in the past. You guys can even see what I was playing when I wasn't streaming, when I just had the Pretzel Player open and going like days ago. Let's see, last week. Let's see, all this stuff was playing. And there's always new artists being added all over the place. So check this, it's so cool. So the What's Playing page is live. Oh, my delay settings. Okay, so 10 seconds. All right, so, and then on my own channel, it'll show up in the chat, which is also really cool. The Pretzel Player will come in and say, hey, this is what's playing. And you can just click and get to this page directly. But it's pretty cool. You guys watched these pages get designed on the Adobe Stream, right? Isn't that cool? And now they're live. They're working by our very talented developer Mike and Nate, and making this stuff live for you guys. So it's pretty cool watching this thing, watching us push pixels around and designing some of this stuff, and then boom, it's all working on the internets. It's like magic. It is magic. So then I can go back to the first page, and so this should be coming up twice, right? So I Said We Party Tonight. Some things are not what they seem. What is that? Oh wait, I gotta go back to page 1. So yeah, so now it comes up twice because we did the search and skipped to it. And very cool. Yep. All right. So sorry to derail everything, but that's live. It's really cool stuff. All right. So, oh, Mike, thank you. Is also adding a private mode and quick settings. Oh, okay. In case I didn't want to show anything I didn't want people to see. Gotcha. Well, there's nothing private about my settings. It's all cool. All right, so let's get back into the design here. Are we still is everybody still leaning towards the outline state? I shouldn't say everybody, but a majority seems to like the outlined version a little bit better. Cool. All right. Mike is a magician. All right, so let's leave the outline for now. But one thing I don't want to, just in case, I'm going to save this flower. We're going to save this flower in case we do end up liking that style. Maybe that style will work better down here somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and Control G this so I can group it and drag the whole thing around by itself. So let's put our little flower back here and Object, Arrange, Send to back. Okay, so another thing I need to do though, it kind of, I don't know, it has, the outline also kind of gives it a childish kind of look, which kind of goes with this brand. So maybe it's, I say childish as like it's kind of cartoony, So maybe we do keep it because it has more of that vibe going for it. So this is a group, but if I double click in it, I can work, back with its separate shapes again. So what I want to do is I want to kind of put, we're going to lay down some ink on top of this. Just to have it look like it's, fading into the center of the flower. And let's come down further. So I'm not being super, that might be a little too high in some places. And we're just kind of, this is, the correct term for this is eyeballing it. And I'm going to go over to, let's see, let's kind of curve that one out. This one I didn't actually drag handles, so I'm just going to use live corners, and I'm going to do half a pixel. That's the beauty of Illustrator. You can actually do half a pixel because it's all vector. So there's sort of not really pixels. And this one's going to kind of give me it's kind of wonky. All right, let's do something like that. All right, so we've also got this fill that we want to play around with, and the fill is just going to lay on top. So I'm going to go ahead and drag out. Let's just go with. Let's go back to just our outline color, and I'm just going to kind of drag out essentially a shadow shape. Maybe this comes up here. Hide it back behind there. All right, and we're gonna fill this with our dots. Now we gotta grab all of these, or actually there's a stroke on here we don't want. All right, and I'm gonna send it backwards with the shortcut, which is Control and then the left bracket. Can't decide if I like it all the way yet. All right, let's back out and see how we're looking. All right. So I'm noticing we had a couple like little notches in a couple of these petals that we didn't draw. So let's use Shape Builder and we'll put those back in. So let's see. And real quick, let me show you the fill again real quick, just how that was done. But let me do this shape. So I want to put like a notch in this petal. Actually, let me grab, I'm going to Control X and I'm going to go into the group and Control F to paste right in front where it was. And then I can select this petal. If I hold Shift and the letter M, I go into Shape Builder. And now I can hold Alt and I'm going to knock out that little piece down there. All right, and then up here we had another piece here. So I'm gonna select that shape and the petal, Shift M, and hold Alt, and I can get rid of that little notch. All right, so this little fill thing, all it is a pattern, and it's just a simple dot. So what I have done is you take the ellipse tool and we just want to fill this with we're going to use just black for now, and you just drag out a dot. Let me come in closer here. That dot's kind of, it's a little bit bigger than we want, but then you can just go to Object, and you can go to, where to go? Pattern, Make, and you start getting this dialog. All right, so what I chose to kind of offset this was I did brick by row, and then if you manipulate the size of your dot, right, you can get a dot pattern, and you select Done. Right when you select Done, your dot will still be there, but if you look over on the right in your swatches, you will have the pattern we just made. We didn't name it, so it's called New Pattern 2. So if I go to, let's say I select Same, Fill and Stroke, and I can choose the smaller dot, or it's actually, the dot's actually larger, there's just more spacing, and I have these two, you know, now you can see I have these two little swatches here that I can just fill stuff with, and I can get rid of the old dot that I don't need, and that's how that pattern's made. So, and you can make a pattern out of anything. Let's say I wanted, let's just see what this would look like if we did some 45-degree angle line. So alright, so this might be a little tricky because I need to make a pattern. So Object, let's go to Path, Outline Stroke, and let's see. Don't know if that'll work. Let's see if that'll work. So let's group these, Control G. I don't think I'm gonna cut it properly, but go to Object and let's go to, actually we'll just use Shape Builder. Or actually, let's do the traditional way first. Let's just go to a clipping mask. So Object, Clipping Mask, Make, Object, Pattern, Make. Then I think I'm doing this right. I don't remember if I drag these guides in. And let's call this diagonal lines. Done. Oh, wait. All right, you done? Done. All right. So now we have that swatch over here. So I can do, let's just switch these out and see what they look like. Select Same, Fill and Stroke, and then we'll select that swatch. And there's another style. Now it's like the shadow is like diagonal lines. Diagon alley. Diagonal alley. Yeah, so that's just quick ways, yeah, to make cross hatching or you know, kind of it's not really a halftone, but you know, the dot pattern almost looks like kind of a halftone. You know, you could use anything for a pattern. You could use little X's or something. I don't know. You could use any shape you want. And you think about the you know, the overall density of your shape here. Like these diagonal lines, it's almost like putting, you know, a 50% kind of like taking the blue and knocking it back 50% in transparency, kind of, because what we did was the separation, you know, the space between the lines is, you know, it's like 1 for 1, right? So it's like 50%. So it almost looks like, you know, you've dropped the opacity, kind of in a stylistic way, but you drop the opacity back 50% or whatever for the blue, right? Because if you think, if you're printing this on a black T-shirt, you know, only those lines are going to be printed, the blue lines there. So from a distance, it looks like it's been, you know, it's slightly transparent. But since we use like big fat lines, that's more stylistic. You're gonna see it. Now if we go back to select same fill and stroke, and we'll go back to our original pattern here, you know, the space, the negative space in between these dots, there's a little more, so it doesn't look as harsh of a shadow almost. So, you know, stuff to keep in mind. And then I don't need this guy, so I can just delete him. Maybe we'll use that pattern for something else down the road. All right, so I'm noticing on this one, I probably should have put, I don't know if I want to be a little more conservative with this pattern or just go all out and just kind of, you know, a lot of decisions I still need to make on this. I feel like it needs a little bit there. The cool thing about these patterns is that you can just add to them, right? So this is its own shape, but it'll keep the overall. It's like, how do I put it? It's like the imagine this whole canvas was just covered in that pattern, and you're just kind of letting the shape, the pattern shape out, right? With almost like a mask effect. Because if I go and I draw another shape on this, you'll notice the dots aren't overlapping, right? It's not like a shape with the pattern isn't, when you have it this way, these two shapes don't have separate, like, how do I put this? The patterns don't look separate, so you're not going to run into like weird overlaps or anything. It's like, think of it as more like it's a mask of this whole big pattern, and you're just, the shapes you made are letting that pattern shine through in some places. So that's kind of how pattern fills work, or that is how pattern fills work. All right, so let's do this big old flower here, and let's change it up. Maybe we'll do this gold color and see what's up. I've been on since 4, Aiden, so I don't know. Uptime is an hour and a half. An hour and a half. All right, let's check the old Twitter. Yeah. Aiden sends me a screenshot of code. Nice. 90 minutes to go. Oh yeah, so we're halfway. Okay, so stretching a cling film over a bowl. Oh, you mean like the patterns? What you have just done has made an idea I have much easier to make. Ooh, I'm glad I could spawn some sort of ideas. I thought we would stop in like 30 minutes. No, I go for, yeah, sorry Frame for trying to get to bed. I go till 7 Pacific, so it's a 3-hour block. Okay, and now I'm thinking, you know, this one, since we have this overlap here, I don't know if I want to keep. All right, so, well, this will be a decision kind of later down the road, is if we keep the if we even keep this halftone pattern. But it looks kind of funky now, but I bet when this whole piece is done, it'll start making more sense. All right, so let's do this guy. Let's go to our gold color. Let me drag these swatches down in here so we have, and did I give this, is this a Pantone? This should be 618. Okay, so 618. I'm gonna get rid of that. Yes, delete that swatch. It's confusing me. So 618, 206. Let's get rid of Rubine Red. Get rid of that color. Go here. All right, so we got our colors stacked up. All right, let's go back here and let's work on this next petal here. And these are. Let's see. So another kind of trick is, you see how this flower has these little notches? I don't know if I want them all in the when I offset path. That one I do. But what I'm thinking is this way. So I've got this shape, object, path, offset path. We're gonna go 3 like the rest of them. This one becomes our black ink. And so I've got these little nicks, but I think I like to keep this overall shape kind of smooth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the kind of nick in the petal here separate. So I'm gonna make those 2 shapes on top. I'm gonna select all 3, Shift M to go into Shape Builder, and we're going to knock those parts out. So that way our outline is still smooth, right? We still have those shapes knocked out. I don't know if I'm gonna keep that style, but something in my gut is saying keep it that way just in case. So, and then we do have, you know what? For these stamen things on top, I don't think I'm gonna do these interior lines on this one just yet, because I feel like it's gonna get too busy. So let's go ahead and draw the next petal. Pantone, my swatches, and this petal here. And hold Alt to get these curves. I do want this one. And you guys see, I do want that one. This is all be smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and follow this outline though. And need to drag this handle further. That. Okay, so object path, offset path 3. And I give that some ink so I know what we got here. All right, let's do this next petal. So, you know, I'm dragging out quite a long handle here so I can make this curve up top here a little bit easier to get to. This one I kind of want to smooth it, I think. That. Drag this one out a little further. Oh, Anya, I meant to ask you, it sounds like on Twitter you're dealing with sick kids. Do you guys have that cold that's been going around? We had some random cold here that took like a month for us all to get rid of it. It was terrible. Oh, I picked the wrong one. So I'm going to object, path, offset path again. And we're slowly getting this next flower built. Okay, so over here, I'm going to try to just freehand out this other petal because I want the whole flower just in case. So let's say it comes out kind of like so. Having a sick family is the worst, man. All right. Path, offset, path, 3 again. It might be a little weird, but let's leave it. Fill that, jump back to the gold. Let me catch up. Oh, a stomach flu bug, yeah. Man. Let's see. Logo I've been working on, but not too sure if I have it too detailed still. Should I tweet? Yeah, tweet it at me. I'll see. We'll check it out. Ryan. 1:25 a.m. If you got to go to bed, it's all cool, dude. I appreciate you sticking around for this long for sure. But, you know, yeah, sleep is definitely important. So if you got to go, no big deal, bud. The VOD will be up after. Recovered on Monday. Oh, nice. Good. And make it university and having hand rendering, but honestly, I always keep doing hand rendering. Wait, a lad in my design class didn't make it to a university for having hand rendering. But honestly, I'd always keep doing hand rendering. I'm not following Billy. You mean they didn't make it because they didn't do the hand rendering part? Is that what you mean? Yeah, Scott, I did hear about the Manchester stuff. Some people, man, I don't know what is wrong with them. Oh, Nikolai. That's pretty cool. I love all this little detail in here. See, I wonder. So I'm trying to accomplish something similar, but using, you know, as few colors as possible. Like, you know how you got all these separate greens in the leaf? That looks really cool. That looks very cool. The wood axes look cool. Yeah. Very nice, dude. I love the style. All right, so that's Nikolai. What else we got? Oh, Billy. Oh, yeah. Okay. So it does look really cool, man, and it is quite detailed. The thing to look for is simply just grab that sucker and just take it down to 1 inch by 1 inch and see what it looks like. See if it holds up. Because you got to think about logos are going to go, you know, once they hit a business card, and surprise, people still use business cards. You know, that logo is going to go to, you know, about the size of the bottle cap in some cases. Like it can get pretty small. So if it still holds up at that size, then I say, you know, roll with it. But you might want to do another version where it is simplified. So, you know, turn all these shadows into big shapes. Rather than having the detail. Now, definitely keep this though, because this will be cool. It's always cool to have like a full rendered thing as well from a logo. I think that's awesome. I've seen some places do that, which is, you know, they have like the small little icon version, and then they have like, you know, the more illustrated version. So it does look pretty cool, dude. But yeah, nice work. Nice work, Billy. What'd you send me, Anya? Did you send me something? Ooh, Amethyst. Team Amethyst. Very cool. Am I following you? I better be. How do I check? Why am I not following you, Anya? All right, there we go. Team Amethyst. That I love the shape. Ah, okay, I get it. Sorry, my brain's a little slow. But it's the wings are the gems. Very nice. It almost doubles as it almost makes it look armored too, which is cool. Yeah, I love the slight gradient in the name. Very nice. There's a like button here somewhere. Yep. Okay. Good. What is all this? Okay. Good work, Anya. Yep. If you haven't seen Anya's mascot logos, you gotta check them out. She does some awesome work. What else do we miss? E-shirts. Did you send me the sketch again? I know you had it before. I want to show off the overall big sketch you had to show everybody what you're in store for. What was that? Sorry, I just hovered over something and a weird. What was that? Something strange happening on my desktop. Nice. Okay. I don't want to put a downer on the stream. Let's consider. Oh yeah, no problem, Scott. I totally understand. Yep. The many ways. Let's consider the many ways potatoes can replace your router. Yes. Has the stream gone down at all yet? Knock on wood. No, it has not, because I'm bypassing the router tonight and have I've got a lot of, so I'm probably doing this all wrong anyways. There's probably some network people that are going to be like, what are you thinking? But I do have a couple different, like, coming off my modem. There was the router that was giving up on me all of a sudden, and that looks like another. I'm not going to do that notch just yet. Router started dying, and then I have, like, there's an extender in the middle of the house that has its own, like, SSID, and then the modem itself has its own SSID, and this one did, and I'm sure, I'm sure something was supposed to be set to bridge at some point, and it wasn't, so I don't know what's going on, but I know I've isolated this one down to the router itself, and I think it's going to need to be drop kicked out in the street, which will be fun. Offset path, because if you don't know me, I've always grown up where if electronics fail you, they need to be punished type thing. So I went through a lot of, like, especially printers over my my time in the computer graphic design stuff. A couple printers found their way out in the street. I remember had okay, why are we getting a weird shape in here? What happened here? That was really weird. That shouldn't be doing that. All right, I must have, did I grab an anchor? Weird. Oh, I made a duplicate. I hope I just didn't ruin this whole thing. Yep, all right. Okay, why are you having problems there? Why is this connector having it? What is this? Why are you? Oh, because I'm in outlines. It's starting at that time of day. Brain shutting down, people. All right. All right, we're at a point, though, where we can turn all these into... I need to get those two. Yeah, I'm sitting here going like, what was going on? So I had, let's see, I had a couple printers. I remember, I won't say the manufacturer. This definitely hasn't been my first rodeo with routers gone bad. I had one in the past, like 5 or 6 years ago, that started cutting out on me, and it was funny. I got recommendations when I posted to get to to recommendations on routers. Someone actually recommended the same company. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing them again. Their router just stopped working one day, and it was very bizarre. I don't know what the problem was, and I called their tech support, and first their tech support tried to, like, they tried to get me to, like, buy, like, support for all my electronics, and I don't know why. I was like, no, I need my router to work. I don't care. No, I don't care if you guys want to tech support an Xbox. I need my internet. Weird stuff. And so he was beating around the bush for hours, and we couldn't get anything to work, and I finally got to the point where I tore the router out of the wall, and I'm still on the phone with this guy. I'm out in the front yard, and I'm jumping up and down on the router, and I'm kindly telling the guy, this is what your router sounds like when you jump up and down on it out in the street. I was so livid. Like, I had not had it for very long at all, and there was no reason it should have been dying this quickly, and so yeah, that router got then, like, thrown a good 30-40 feet into a garbage can, and was never seen or heard from again. So yes, me and routers, or any electronics that don't work properly, we have stuff goes down, that's for sure. All right, so this path is kind of screwed up here, but since I have this overlap, I'm just going to kind of drag this down and hide it. Yep, and then I had a printer die on me for a rather funny reason one time. I used to have an iguana I had a friend of mine that moved and needed a home for their iguana, and it was this 4-foot long, super angry iguana that I ended up with. And I had an old HP printer. I don't know if you guys remember. It was kind of like it looked like a brick with like a big flap on the front. And I went to print something, and I just heard this real weird like screech sound, and I could tell it was the cartridge, you know, that slides on top wasn't sliding. And I look over and I just see 3 feet of iguana tail hanging out of the printer. And I'm like, dang it. So I had to get rid of that printer. I eventually got rid of the iguana too, but I don't know why he'd go in there and sleep. He'd get into the printer and go to sleep. Such a weird animal. And he hated me. Oh, he hated me. He liked my roommate. So I don't know what was happening, but yeah. So I had another younger iguana at the time though that was actually really friendly, but he's a lot smaller. So maybe he just hadn't turned into angry mode yet. I don't know. I don't know much about lizards. Okay, so these, let's do. Can't do gold. Let's do blue on the end part. And to save time, we were going to copy a couple of these guys, bring them over here. Yes. So the moral of the story is lizards are good at destroying electronics, at least printers. I had no one down there. Do I want to put this one down there? Yeah, I had another printer that just got drop kicked. It just got drop kicked. Very far. It went very far. It was quite fun. This though, I'm gonna make this the blue, and we gotta go. Let's drag. Okay, let's change the widths. I can't see. I'm gonna do a better job at hiding this batch. Okay, so width tool looks like the width tool actually looks like a little flower, and it's Shift W is the shortcut. Okay, I got that one. Let's bring all these to front. There's also another little detail I was going to do on these, but I'll do that at the end. There's like a little highlight I was going to do, but let's select these guys. Object, path, outline, stroke. Here's another thing though. What if they're just... Maybe it's this overlap that is looking funky too. So let's try... You know what? Let's try merging this into one shape. Let's use Pathfinder and go to Unite. And let's go ahead and clean up. We use Shape Builder and kind of cut apart. I don't know, maybe if just having the stamen as like a full shape would be better. I don't know yet. We'll find out. So object, path, offset path, and we want 1 pixel for this one. Change that to black ink. This guy needs to move. Object, path. Offset path 1. I kind of like the style though, because it does look like more playful. That kind of cell shaded, simple. Let's flip these guys. Flip that one. Oh, we got our shape in the back. So Control Y to go into outlines, and I got this back that just kind of fills in the black area back there. And I'm gonna group these so I can kind of drag them down a little bit. Oh, I missed one. There we go. You know, if it's one solid shape, I wonder if I can get away with a thicker outline. Object, path, outline, no, object, path, offset path. I'll do 2. Path, offset path, 2. Nope, I needed the... Yeah, I think we can get away with a thicker outline, which makes it look a little better. So let's go back and we'll modify this one to work. Get rid of these parts. I don't know, it just feels, I like it as just a solid shape, you know, maybe it's a nice in-between. And I'm still not sold on this halftone yet. We're still thinking about it. Object path, offset path, 2. Oh yeah, I can get rid of that for now. We're going to merge you. Going to get rid of these guys. Oh wait, I didn't mean to merge that. What did I do wrong here? It's grouped. That's my problem. These. Front, object path, offset path, 2. Yeah, I like that better. Let's fix the bottom. Or actually, I'm gonna redraw these guys because I want them, now I'm looking at it, I want them to be more joined together in the middle. Go back to the gold. I think we had this at 1 point for now. I keep selecting, you know, shapes behind it so it picks up that swatch. And let's kind of maybe give this one a more... Keep this curve close, actually, the one in front of it, so it doesn't make a big... Kind of looks like pop art or something, you know, so... Object... Oh, wait. We're... 2... We're slowly finding a style that I think is cool. Outline stroke. Oh wait, no. Object path. Outline stroke. Let's unite all those. Now we can go object path. Offset path should be set to 2. I like the thicker outline for sure. Object arrange. bring to front. Okay, so now this bottom section, let's clean this up a little bit. Let's do, what do we do like an upwards? Yeah, we do like an upwards. So it's just kind of, and then select the gold area and our new shape. Shape builder, Shift M. Get rid of that. Yeah, I missed one. Dang it. Come back. Ah. This is how my whole week has been lately. Missed this guy. Stroke. Yeah, unfortunately there's no shortcut for outline stroke or offset path that I know of. I wish there was. That would definitely make things easier for guys like me. I don't know why there hasn't ever been a shortcut for that. Or maybe there is, but it's hidden? I don't know. Object arrange. Bring to front. I don't like... that little piece there, so we'll shape build that out. Select same, fill and stroke. Object. Let's do this. I want to make these dots smaller. Done. And let's group this guy. Oh, I need this one. G. Object path, outline stroke. All right, so we're slowly getting our flowers made. What are you talking about, Swami? What you think, Evan? How much color is optimal for a t-shirt print? It's really, oh man. So the breakdown in colors is every time there's a new color added in to make a screen of. I mean, that's an extra cost, right? So each color requires another screen. And so the cost associated with making that screen, the ink for that screen, registering that screen, and using it in the print process. So that's why, you want to keep those counts down. Now there is a CMYK process in printing. So if you have way too many colors, then you could go dial it back to the Rayler's 4-color CMYK process, but that isn't going to be the technology in screen printing has probably come up, but and I'm not a screen printer, but I'm just telling you kind of my experience of doing this stuff is that the 4-color process is never going to look as clean as when you have your colors called out. In fact, I've worked with a printer I work with that is really, really good. Sometimes he'll do a mixture of both. So he'll have like a 4-color process, and then he'll throw in some other spot colors or PMS colors, right? The Pantone colors, and take a 4-color job and then essentially, sharpen it with the correct spot colors on top. Because when you do a 4-color process, like say this blue here, this blue has a PMS number. This is I'm going for this exact blue on this print. Well, in a 4-color process, that blue may not come out exactly like I have it here, just because it's trying to blend the colors to make this color, right? When a spot color is, I know that the breakdown, the formula for that color has already been mixed beforehand, and it's that exact color is going to come down through that screen. See what I'm getting at? So the colors are, the job will be cheaper for the fewer colors you have. But if you have called out colors like we have here, it'll also be cleaner. So if you add more colors, depending on how you want to do it, the cost could jump up. It's also kind of dictated by the screen printer. So some screen printers, when you think of each color as a screen, it's the screen printing machines is a big palette, right? This big like rotating carousel of these screens that each one comes down onto the shirt and it presses ink through it, and then the screen goes back up. So you're once you say put a shirt on to go around the carousel of colors, you're kind of limited to how many stations you have, right? So maybe the printer you're using, their carousel, I forget what the technical term. Screen printer guys, help me. What's the correct name of the machine? The screen printing machine. I feel like they have a name, but say they only have 8 stations, right? And maybe 2 of those stations are used up by some sort of heater. So you really only have like 6 screens you can use. So sometimes the artwork, how many colors you can put into it, is dictated by the screen printer you take it to. Now the big monster machines, they have like 16, sometimes 18 stations. Those guys can do like a lot of colors in a t-shirt job. So you'd have you're not as limited, but the cost does go up. Another thing you got to think of is that depending on how you screen print, you're always going to have to lay down white ink, right? So if you have like this black shirt, right? This is white ink put on this black shirt. Now, if I were to take this red ink and put it directly on this black shirt, you're not going to get that vibrant of ink. You're going to get something in between, because the ink is going to the black shirt's going to show through a little bit, right? So screen printing, they got to put white ink down first and then put the color ink on top of it. So you get another layer under there. So you get that vibrancy that happens there. So you got to always consider that if you're using like a dark shirt and say your artwork doesn't have the color white in it, that's still a color that's gonna get used, because you need to put down a base to print the colors on top of, like a white sheet of paper, right? So yes, fewer colors is gonna be cheaper, but it really depends on the design and the printer you take it to, to see how it actually gets put on a garment. I hope that made some sort of sense. I'm terrible at explaining this stuff. Yeah, so what Bino said, the dark color shirts, you need stations for base white and drying before printing colors. Right, so what he's saying is when you print the white ink, the ink's wet, so you can't just print another color on top of it, right? So imagine the screen comes down, it puts white ink through it, the shirt then moves to the heater, which is another station, which dries the white ink, right? And then it's going to move to the next station, which is going to put down the next color on top of it. All right, so you got to consider that some of those stations are taken up by different colors, and if you've got like Binos, have you ever come into a situation where you've had to have 2 heating stations on one job? I wonder if there's a situation, because you wouldn't have any overlaps, right? I mean, sometimes would you have like maybe some halftone situations where you'd need to, like say you got a blue halftone and then you're going to run a red halftone right up next to it or something, and you need to like, okay, yeah, so you need to heat that again. So you're using up stations with heaters. And then the real manual way, correct me if I'm wrong, is the manual stations where you have the rolling heater where you're doing it by hand, right? And you're putting the screen down, putting the ink, then you roll the heater up on top of the shirt, then roll it off, and then move it to the next station. So it all depends. It really depends on where you're taking it to. when you are you saying binos? I don't know what that is. You print socks? Oh, inks that are sticky. Yep. Now, does that have to do with the base? Like what type of base is being used? Like, man, I remember back in the day, that clear silicone base stuff would destroy all my clothing. If I'd get some of that base on there and it would be Dunsky. Let's see, let's kind of modify this shape a little bit. Yeah, so, and I guess, I know there's some printers, like, you know, all these printers like to they have their own processes, right? So, like, some printers mix all their own inks. And some like to just order the ink colors. So, man, yeah, I remember having to like mix inks with those the silicone base, the clear stuff. Spill that stuff on you and you'd be done for. It's terrible. All right, which handle am I grabbing here? This guy. Let me double check. I think I got a weird overlap happening here, so let's fix that. So let's see. Let's see this one. I'm going to bring this one to the front. One. We'll pull that over. Okay, so now I'm just kind of simplifying some of this stuff, and I really don't want that little, I don't want that line. Move this slightly. I'm also, I'm looking for these little shapes in between. Like I don't want this little piece showing through. So let's just kind of do that for now. There, now I don't have to worry about that. All right, so this should all be grouped. Let's see, and this one down here, do I have a similar flower to that one? I think this big one's gonna be red. Let's do this big one next. But first, let's check the old Twitter. What do we got? Ooh. Oh, okay. Here's what eShirts has going on. Look at, he's gonna vector all this. Man, you got some time, some what's the term there? Some, what can I think about it? The you and Illustrator are gonna become good friends. Man, all this stuff. I love this shirt with the tongue. You got a lot of time ahead. It's gonna look cool. It's gonna look very cool. So eShirts Lab is working on that. Ooh, what is this? One of the guys on my art and design class last year did this for his final piece, and someone had it tattooed. That's really cool. Ah, there's kind of a stippling effect. Now you can do a stippling effect with a pattern as well. It's kind of hard, and I don't think we'll do it tonight, but you know, this could be a you can make brushes and stuff like this in Illustrator to get a stippling effect. That looks cool, dude. Let's see. There was something. Wasn't there something up top here? I feel like I missed something. No. This. Oh, that's cool. Blueberry lemon ice. What is this? 1 MR. Is this like an energy drink? Oh, dietary supplement. Increase strength. Pre-training powder. Very cool. Can I open the whole thing? Okay. Designed for next gen athlete. BPI powered. I like it, dude. Nice job, guys. All right, did I miss anything here? Very cool. Have been since Illustrator 87. When are you going to start animating, Evan? Oh man, I used to work in Flash quite often, and I'll be honest, it made me want to pull my hair out. But I was making stuff that wasn't fun. I was making stuff that so for a lot of years I worked in something called the lead gen industry. And if you guys know what that is, it's where, it's basically banner ads and stuff. So I had to make a truckload of banner ads for a lot of different clients over the years, and it was it was quite mind-numbing after a while. I'm glad I don't do it anymore. But all these banner ads back in the day was built in Flash. And we used to do all sorts of it. I'll be honest with you. So the ads and stuff you see online, you guys are being tracked everywhere in advertising, everywhere. If you use Facebook gives up so much information about you to publishers, it's ridiculous. Google does the same. There is all sorts of data that gets recorded by all sorts of stuff you do, and even down to these banner ads. I know you've seen it. It's called behavioral targeting. Say you're on Amazon and you're looking at routers, right? And then you go to your favorite movie news site, and oh look, there's a ad for routers. That's the type of stuff I used to have to do, and we used to build that all in Flash. And it was kind of complicated at times, and it wasn't. You got the design stuff, but that part wasn't super fun. At least I didn't enjoy it for the most part, building all the coding that went into that stuff. Now it's all HTML5, and they still do. Well, GIFs. GIFs you couldn't embed any information into it. I'm not 100% set on this. On these dots yet. So over here we don't have them, and I don't want to add colors, but I don't know if I want to do these dots. I'd rather do. What else could I do? Instead of making, you know what? Maybe let's do it backwards. Let's test something on this one. Instead of doing a dot pattern, what if we used a different color? Did something like. What is this going to look like? But yeah, the moral of the story with ads and stuff is be careful what you share about yourself online. Oh no, I don't know if I'm... Decisions. That one. Shift M. So I'm using Shape Builder to quickly like do this, like break apart. These shapes, or you know, to delete the overlap. So I'm selecting one, select the other, Shift M, and then I'm just pressing, holding Alt and clicking on it to get rid of the background one. Then we got to push these back, which is Control and the brackets. I'm using the left bracket, which is to go backwards, or to send it backwards a few times. Does that look right? Does that look? Was there another? That's too far. No, there's nothing on top of it. I think I want another one of these. I don't know. This one doesn't look. This needs to come back here. Can't see the handle. Man, I just got really hungry all of a sudden. Let's see, select those two, Shift M. Maybe if I clean that up, it might look kind of cool. I wouldn't want to do that to all of them. But maybe, does it make sense to do like the underside of these, or the... that. I feel like these dots just look too busy. Oh, got rid of something I didn't want to get rid of. Like, what do you guys think? You think the dots look too busy? Like, getting rid of them, I think actually helped. Amazon Echo go? How did I made that what, huh? Yeah, I have a cramp in my hand just looking at it. I build animated ads for the U.S. Army for social media. I build them in Adobe Animate, Premiere, and After Effects. Oh, wow. What, man, I never went that far as to try to get After Effects into a banner ad. That must be... I'd be interested to know how that works, to be honest. So that's why I'm getting so many... What? Really, Clan? See, that's when that type of targeting is like... I hope you're joking. I don't, but that's when that type of targeting is like, come on, you know, it's overboard. eShirt Labs likes the dual color. Anya liked the dots. Yeah, it does clean it up a little. I can always go back in and draw in the dots. You know, I might I think I'm gonna keep going and do just simpler like this, and then I'll probably, because once it's all together, I'll probably go in and redraw the dots, but maybe I'll just do smaller shapes. I don't know. Let's see. I like the diagonal lines from earlier. That did look kind of cool. It was a different style. Scott liked the dots. All right, well, I'm gonna keep going with just solid shapes of color, and then I'll probably go back in and try. I'll try some stuff, because you know, with this being outlined and whatnot, it just felt like it was getting really busy. Maybe these shouldn't be as thick, like the center line. Like maybe it's just this area in here. What if I just get rid of this other petal for now? Maybe it's just this flower in particular that's making things feel busy. And this is the other cool thing about keeping the petals separate, is that you can go in and tweak stuff slightly. You know, maybe just simplifying it down is what I need to do. I don't know how many petals a lily has. Maybe it only has 5. maybe that 6th one wasn't supposed to be there anyways. I will say lines just because everyone does this halftone style. Well, the lines was kind of like a happy accident. It definitely gave it, I can't talk, a different character, which I wasn't intending, but did look kind of cool. So, you know, maybe that will come back. It will make a return down the road. I don't think I need. Now I look at this, I don't know if I need this one. Simplify that down a little more. This seems to cut really sharp. Yeah, maybe I just need to simplify it, and then the dots will look better or work better. All right, so do this big guy down here, and I'm gonna draw him to be red, and like this red interior with a gold edging. Ooh, doesn't that sound fancy? Okay, a gold edging. What do we got here? 620. All right. Always err on it. Do you know when the Travises are due, Evan? He had his son. His son is here. His name is Aiden, and apparently he sleeps through the night. I'm jealous. Yep. Aiden is. Oh man, he must be. Is he a couple months old now? I think. I know Travis has been pretty busy at work. But when is that guy not busy? He is always busy. Travis is a bit of a machine. And we definitely miss him around here. We're maybe you know, we'll probably give him a little bit longer, and then I'll start bugging him to come hop on here and there. And I don't know if Kyle streams. If you guys remember, Travis used to stream with Kyle the UI stuff on Mondays. keep meaning, I want to get Mark on here. I had put a message out a while ago to get some guests on here, and then I just got busy. I was having a hard time just making time to contact people, but I need to sit down and make like a schedule. Oh man, I said the S word. Schedule. It's evil. Actually, I think I'm gonna draw. I'm going to include the overlap. Okay, can't I do this and get rid of... No, I didn't want to get rid of the... Alright, shape builder. There we go. I guess I just had to make a copy. Alright, object path, offset path 3, and we got some weird jetting going on here. We don't need that. So let's kind of... So sometimes offset path can do some random stuff that you do need to go in and manually do some cleanup, because as you saw on some real sharp turns here, like you can see when you offset path, you know how we have 1 point here, but then on the path itself it made 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's something. Sometimes you get like there's 3 there, you know, you get situations where you have to go back and clean that up manually. I think you can use the simplify option, but I don't remember how precise that is. Like I can already tell this little leaf or this little petal here is probably going to give me the same little issue that we'll have to clean up. Yeah, because I'm drawing in all these like little notches, and it's going to have a field day with those. Let's see. So what else you guys been working on? What have you been doing all week? Object, path, offset path, do the thing. There we go. All right, so, yep. See this down here? We can just get rid of this pretty easily. The other two look all right. We'll keep those. Yeah. Matt just drop in. What's up, Matt? I sense vectors. Yes, there's lots of vectors happening. Yeah, Frame. So when you have a kid, yeah, you go dark. You either go one way or another. Either they never see you again, or they see you all the time. Depends on how the kid's doing. My oldest son would not sleep ever. He was, man, he didn't sleep. He didn't take naps. He barely slept a couple hours every night. That kid was just, yeah. My youngest son, that kid slept like a rock. You couldn't wake him up half the time. So on the first kid, yeah, nobody saw hide or hair of me for quite some time. Second kid was like, hey, yeah, I don't know, he's sleeping. It's a trip. And then having twins after that, that's just, yeah, that's a whole mixture of both. Object path, offset path, 3. So you guys didn't, come on, what have you guys been doing? I want to know what you guys been up to. As we draw out these flowers here. Lots of flowers and posies and pretty things. Here's another situation. I'm just going to do that much for now. I'm not going to draw that big old notch because I know that's going to just tear it up when I offset that. Up. And this is another kind of, it took me a long time to get used to this flow. Like, the whole like building shapes from the inside out. Like I used to, and it depends on the style you're going for. I used to, when I first got into Illustrator, I used to just outline all the pencil, right? I would just outline the whole thing. And then it wasn't until looking at mascot logos that I realized you kind of have to just build shapes on top of each other, right? So, and you end up using like things like offset path. So, don't be, you know, there's a lot of different ways depending on what you're trying to do and how you want your end product to look. You know, how you tackle it may be different than what I'm doing here. You know, it all depends on what you're shooting for. I don't know if I want to take that all the way to the edge. I think I want to use another stroke profile over here. We'll just use that. Actually, let's bump this up one more. 3. But yeah, that was another thing that I had to wrap my brain around, and it took a while to wrap my brain around it. The other thing to watch out for in Illustrator is using stuff like the Pathfinder tool. That also was coming from Photoshop. That was a bit of a learning curve for myself as well. But once you pick it up, it's like night and day. You realize what it's doing. You end up using it all the time. And now it's like that with Shape Builder. Shape Builder is kind of like, I would say it's kind of like a simplified Pathfinder, I guess, to where you can break apart shapes pretty easily. And what is this? What are you? That's weird. There's a weird little broken area there. I don't know what that is. Oh well. All right, let's turn all of these into shapes so we can see what the damage is. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the gold edges. Gold edges. Ooh, now that, I don't know. I think that flower turned out. So I can kind of see, like, I feel like I'm kind of getting a little bit better as I go. Like, this one looks cool. This one looks all right. This one looks a little bit better. That one seems to have it. This one, I don't know. This one just seems a lot cleaner too. So we're slowly getting there. I do want to kind of clean these up though, to where I can flatten, or I can merge all of the black shapes together and just have that behind all of the red petals. I don't know if we'll get there. That might be kind of tricky. Kind of tricky. And I'm just building this random shape to like fill that empty space. So arrange, send to back. Let's go ahead and so take the gold. Where are you? Gold. Movie poster design thingy using only one. Oh, I saw that. I saw you were working on the alien one, which looked pretty cool. Let's see. In this, we'll make it kind of pointy. We'll make it pointy, like that. How many letters have you gotten done, Matt? I am curious. Oh, I didn't force that one back all the way. Dang it. All right, let's fix you, and then you need to step back to there, and you need to go back more to there. Oh, click. And let's send you back. Send you back War Games on Saturday, Alien this week. Oh, how did the War Games one turn out? Dude, post it up so we can see it, man. War Games. I don't know. That was... how many of you remember War Games? That movie was pretty cool. Old Matthew Broderick. Okay, so we have a dilemma here where, let's see, we're gonna have to do, well, if we outline it, I kind of, man, this one turned out a lot better. What is happening here? This didn't go back all the way. That's what's going on. There we go. Don't you mean Call of Duty? Yep, Matthew Broderick's in it. I forget who the actress is. What is the name of... Is Joshua? Is Joshua the name of the AI? It's Joshua, isn't it? Or the son was Joshua, and the AI is named something else. The Whopper? Was it the Whopper? I forget what it was called. Weird Science is another classic. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I was so sad that that Bill Paxton died, was that he was Chet in Weird Science. Oh, those movies. All right, so let's grab one of these, and we're just gonna kind of, instead of looking at the sketch behind it, we're just gonna kind of put these in where I think they make sense. And I think they need to be blue. No, I need you to flip. There we go. Yeah, Weird Science. All those '80s movies that came out around that time, like Weird Science and Gremlins and War Games. And there was a movie that I absolutely loved growing up, and I've never. You can't buy it anywhere. You can't rent it anywhere. It was called Catch Me If You Can, and it's not the one with Leonardo DiCaprio in it. If anybody remembers that, yeah, that was a good movie. Catch Me If You Can. In fact, it's even hard to even find it like on the web because everything goes straight to the Spielberg film that came out years later. But it was about this kid that was, I think his high school was getting shut down or something. And he street raced. And the town he lives in, there's like this infamous this guy in the past that like in the 50s that did I forget what it was called, like essentially he was able to get from one side of the city to the other in a certain amount of time. And I forget how the whole movie goes, but he did it in like a 50s Bel Air or something. I think it was. It was red. I remember it being red. This movie must have been shot early 80s. But somehow this kid makes a bet with somebody that he can do it. And but the problem is, like, it's like 20 years later, and the city has gotten much bigger, but he still finds a way to do it. And then he finds out, like, the big spoiler. Like, I'm gonna give you a spoiler because I don't know if you'll ever find this movie. The guy that looks terrible. I gotta redo this. The guy that made that run was the school principal back in the day. Let's see. Let me check it. Anybody remember that one? Oh yeah, I remember Smokey and the Bandit. Has anybody seen Catch Me If You Can? The original Catch Me If You Can. I'd be interested if you. Someone's selling it for $12. Yeah, but so they have. I've seen it being sold like I've been hesitant to buy it that way because, I mean, it's like a garbage VHS to DVD or whatever. Probably beta to DVD. I don't even know if it's VHS. And I think the main actor that was in it, I think he like fell off the planet, from what I was reading. Like nobody ever sees him again or something. It's weird stuff. Gamble on illegal car races to raise money for their school-facing closure. Yep. What's up, Rick? Rick Black's here. Everybody say hi, Rick. Wow, it's already 6:40. BMX Bandits. Yep, Scott. That was. Oh, that was a good movie growing up. Nicole Kidman. Yeah, and that whole slew of movies like Thrashing and Gleaming the Cube and that good 20 minutes of Police Academy 4 that had the Bones Brigade in it. Yep. Those are some good movies. The old sports movies like that was pretty cool. See, this flower looks so much better, I think. Maybe it's just because it's bigger. But it's getting there. I'm still not decided. I feel like this blue could actually do with some sort of... I feel like they all need a two-tone thing. So maybe this one we'll do red. It's tricky because, you know, we're trying to share colors, so we keep the color count down, and that's one of the, that's another kind of tricky thing to learn in this stuff, is that I'm trying to keep the color count down so everything stays real smooth. And I like whatever's playing. What's playing? We have Zircon, Star Trails, Emotion Mix. You can play it on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon. Nice. What's up, Rick Black? Oh, Lost Boys. That was a good one. Bad News Bears. Yep. Bones Brigade. Have you guys seen the Bones Brigade documentary? It's so good. Myself and Josh or Inkbite Art, we like to watch a lot of the skateboard documentaries, and there's some really good ones. There was one that just came out recently called LA Boys, and it's about what is it, Guy Mariano, why can't I remember their names right now? I can only remember Guy Mariano. How they were kind of, there was these kids in LA that were real good skateboards, really young at the time, and they wound up in a Bones Brigade video being shot, and that just like made them. And it was like, next thing they knew, they were professionals, and they were just all over videos and whatnot. And it was the story of how they ended up there and whatnot. It was really cool. All right, getting our flowers done, man. So if you remember that when we did this one on stream, we only got to, we started here where it says Nor, and we got to here. We didn't even get the speaker started. Like, that's as far as we got on stream. Now it is a slower process on stream because we're doing a lot of things at once, but you know, just so you guys know, like, that's how far we got. And all of this was done. It took a couple days later, a couple nights to finish this whole thing, and then to do the shirt mock-up and get it in there and see what it looked like. So, you know, we've actually gotten pretty far for where we're at now. I'm gonna have to do the hexagon behind it. It's at a slant. I didn't scan this. Actually, I didn't draw it on the paper properly. I didn't line it up. So when I scanned it, you could tell it's at a weird angle. But yeah, it's slowly getting there. Let's do this one back behind here. I feel like this one should be blue. This almost looks like leaves rather than another flower back here. So we're gonna make this one super simple. I feel like it should be simple. So yeah, if any of you guys are into skateboard movies, I could talk for hours on skateboard movies. I love all, or I should say that I should like the documentaries lately. I mean, I used to watch skate videos pretty religiously, but I don't really get on a skateboard much anymore. It's funny because I spent upwards of, I don't know, 20... I got my first board when I was like 10, and skated every day until I was, I don't know, 29, 30, something like that. I was still rolling around fairly often at 30. I mean, I still get on time and time, you know, on occasion, but not as much as I used to. But what is that? What is? Let's see, 10 to about 30. Yeah, it's 20 years. 20 years on a skateboard. Object path, offset path, 3. Bird just ran into my window. So this one, I need a. I'm gonna cheat a bit. We're gonna grab this one. Offset path, 3. Object arrange, send to back. This all right, I'll be honest. This flower here is just kind of like filler, you know. It's kind of in the back a little bit, so I'm not super concerned how object arrange, bring to front. Go. I will give it some detail at some point, but object arrange, send it back, and then let's see if we can select this without grabbing everything else, and Control G to group, object arrange, let's send to back. It kind of looks a little bit busy back there, but I don't know, that might look better. No, it's all right. It's all right. All right. So that's just kind of a filler flower, because this one is above it, and then there's a lot of stuff going on around it. So it just kind of breaks up. It's just going to kind of break up what's happening around there. All right. So we're getting there. Santa Cruz. What? So Scott, Lance Mountain didn't skate for Santa Cruz. You must have had a pal. Suggestion, Evan, on the palm leaves, make a leaf, then make it a line. Draw each one as a line. Do you mean like blend it? Like down the line, like a pattern? Yeah, rail grips. Oh yeah, risers. We had nose guards, tail guards. Yep. It was funny. So I went to a skate shop and I built my son a board, and then I needed new bearings for my board, and this was just like maybe 3 years ago, and so we're building my son's board, and I said, yeah, and I need some bearings, you know, for my board, and the guy was like, oh, okay, well, which bearings do you want? And I was looking at the cabinet, and I'm like, you know what? I can actually finally, after 20, well, no, if this was a few years ago, yeah, after almost 30 years, I can finally afford those super fast bearings that cost way too much growing up. So I bought, if you guys know, much about bearings, bearings are the little things that go in the wheels that have, allow them to turn fast. So I finally bought myself a package of PAL Swiss, and I just remember like spending so many days in skate shops just like drooling over the cabinet. They're always in glass cabinets of like the little boxes of PAL Swiss bearings that were like 60, 70 bucks a pop, and just knowing never gonna be able to afford those. So I got them home, I put them on my board, and I just pushed the board up and down the street, just see how fast it would go. For like an hour. Like, man, those things do turn. But it's just funny, you know, funny. It was. I always had to like do the next one down, which was like PAL Reds. If you guys know what those are, PAL Reds are essentially, they're called PAL Reds because they're made in China, off the Swiss specifications. So they have the same specs as the PAL Swiss, but nobody makes bearings like the Swiss. So those are always like a quarter of the price. And that's why they're called Reds. Reds and Swiss. And that's why they come in the little, like, they got like the Oriental dragon, the Asian looking dragon art on the front. It's just funny. So yeah. It's like, yeah, man, finally got me some of these bearings after 2 decades, 4 kids, a bunch of jobs. Yeah. We're going places now. I got me fast bearings. So yeah, this pen tool, man, if you've never jumped in Illustrator, you're going to make friends with this pen tool super quick. This is the tool. And just learning how to use all these curves and to Bezier and like when to put points down and stuff. I'm still very much learning how it all works. So I still get some wonky curves here and there. And I stop and look at guys like Travis that have like super clean work and like Anya's mascots, and it's like, man, how come I can't get those? Can't get me them curves like that. And like, I know you guys, some of those Twitter posts you guys are sending me, I know you guys got it down. I got asked why I don't just like live trace this or use, there's an app, Adobe has an app that allows you to essentially take a picture of something and then it'll vector it, which is essentially live tracing. And live tracing works pretty well, but if you play around with it, you realize that there's some situations where it's not as clean as just pen tooling it like this. So just so you know, I don't remember who asked me that, but like here, I can show you real quick. My computer might like bog down and die, but so if I take this graphic, Control C, Control F. So there is this whole thing about live trace. We only got 5 minutes left. We're gonna have to do a raid here shortly. Pull up the screen so I don't miss it. Where'd you go? Yeah. So like this is, the contrast is fairly good, you know, but not good enough for live tracing. If you want to live trace this, you would have to do pen and ink and really clean up like all these smudges and stuff, or do a lot of pre-production work in Photoshop to clean this up, right? So if I go to image trace, and hopefully this doesn't kill everything, black and white logo is probably what you want. And I think I did this in the past. We live traced halftones. Okay, so you can see, you know, it's not getting all the detail that I want to get here, right? You can manipulate some of this. Like there's some advanced options under Live Trace where I think if I go up to more corners, what is it? More corners, zero noise, lots of paths. You know, it's gonna get close, right? Let's do ignore white. So that's gonna get rid of the white space and make it transparent. And then I can go to expand. And I do now have a vector element, right? So now I can take this and it's vectorized it, right? And I can blow it up anywhere I want, make it super big. But, you know, it's not as clean as just drawing it out. So you'll come into situations where you might have artwork, some real clean pen and ink artwork that you can live trace it. But for this type of stuff that we're doing, you got to pen tool it. You know, it's just gonna look so much cleaner when it's pen tooled and just super smooth. I mean, you saw the one we did last week, right? There was no way to live trace that, and drawing it out, it just looks, you know, so much better. So keep that in mind. I haven't saved in 3 hours, people. Control S. All right, so it is that time of night where we're going to get ready for this raid here. I want to thank all of you guys for coming out and ladies for coming out this way and watching the stream. We got pretty far, actually. I didn't think we were going to get this far on these flowers, but it's getting there. I will post the final artwork when it is said and done up on the old Twitter at some point when I get it wrapped up and done. And hopefully it'll get cleaned up and turned into a t-shirt at some point. One of these days, I will get this whole Pontiac Strange thing off the ground and in your guys' hands if you want it. So yeah. So yep, we're gonna raid. Again, thanks for coming out. Cool stuff. If you haven't, all the tunes are provided by Pretzel. If you don't have Pretzel, go download it. Use it for your streams. You will not be disappointed. And say thank you to Batmonkey and Swan Meat and all the other mods here for helping us out and keeping things in order. And thank you all again for stopping by and giving me some good advice and insight on this type of stuff. I always learn so much from you guys. I love seeing your artwork. Even when I'm off stream, please be sending me that stuff on Twitter. Come say hi on Twitter. And I do occasionally log in on Facebook if I don't get angry. That makes me want to do the same thing with printers and throw my computer out the street. But anyways, I will catch you later, and I'm going to go ahead and dump the link in the stream chat. I'm giving it a sec for this whole thing to catch up, so it's just not in there. But we are going to head over to, what is this, Finch Fish? Do we have Finch Fish is the name? Swan Meat is putting in the raid call. Make sure you copy that. We're going to paste it in the chat when we all vamoose over there. So I'm dropping in the link to who we're going to be raiding. These are great. Got to go check them out. It's always a great big surprise. And yeah, all right. So I will catch you all later. Next Tuesday, be here. I'll be here. All right. Later, all.